I will be reviewing the Lucid Calorie Tracker app, both the premium and the free version. And we will be following 3 people and see the very different ways in which they use it. Let me introduce them. Now, Kate have just noticed that her clothes sit a little bit tighter than usual and she would like to figure out why. So all she's interested in is just tracking her calories as she's going about her day. She will be using the free Android version. Then we have Jerome. Now, Jerome has decided to recompose his body using the lean gains method, and he needs to track quite a bit more. He would like to track his calories, macros, body fat percentage, and of course his workouts. Then thirdly, we have Casey. Now Casey is a little bit more of an obsessive tracker, and he follows a DIY keto and intermittent fasting approach. And he would like to track his macros, calories, water intake, blood glucose, weight, sleep, blood pressure, and of course he would like to see the stats at the end of the week. If you've ever used the calorie tracker app, let me know in the comments below what your experience was. First, we'll have a look at how Kate uses the free Android app. If you open the app, every time on the free version, it will offer you a 50% discount if you upgrade to premium, which you don't have to take. You can just click on the no thanks, but it's important to remember that this is on a yearly subscription. Now, as Kate goes through her day, she walks past a Starbucks like she does every day, and she goes for a blueberry muffin. So she can just click on search and then open the search database with all the Starbucks products, and blueberry muffin is right on at the top, and she can just choose that. Now, it doesn't have any other portion sizes other than a slice. She just clicks done and it's added. But she also would like a vanilla grande latte. So she can just either search for Starbucks or search for that specific drink, and she chose to just scroll through the list till she finds the drink that she wants, and there she finds the vanilla skinny grande latte. She can just add that, click done, and breakfast calories has been tracked. As lunch approaches, she goes to her local Subways like she does every single day. She clicks on add food, and the last Subway meal that she has had is at the very top. So she can just click that and click done, and it's being added. And what would a Subway sandwich be without a soda? You can just click on add food for lunch, and soda is at the very top. She can just click on that, and she can choose the serving size, but the bottle is the one she chose. Click done, and now lunch has been tracked. At the very top, she can also look at her macros, but only in percentages. The actual values of the macros is hidden because she's on the free version. That unlocks on the premium version. Then she goes to dinner, and as she arrives, she learns that they will be having some ribeye steak grilled. So she clicks on it, and 200 grams looks a bit light for what she's having, so she guesses it's about 250 grams. She adds that, and what would an evening meal be without wine? So she just adds the wine, 5 fluid ounces, click done, and dinner has been tracked. Now, what Kate notices immediately is that she is over her calories. So she can now decide if she wants to add dessert or just stay there for the day. In her case, she just stayed there for the day. Anytime you want to do something in the app that is not available in the free version, it will offer you the opportunity to upgrade to the premium version, like going forward in dates. You cannot future plan your meals. You just have to track as you go about your day, which is only unlocked in the premium version. Once she's done tracking for the day, she can just click on done logging, and it will give you a streak. In her case, this is the first time she's been using the app, so it gives her a 1-day streak. Now that she has tracked her day, she can go to the dashboard, and it gives her a very visual breakdown. It clearly shows her that she's 390 calories over her limit for the day, and it also gives her a macro percentage breakdown. So now she's in the position to decide tomorrow to eat 390 calories less than her budget to even it out over the week. Now, Jerome uses the app a little bit differently. He has a lot more requirements than Kate does, but he's also on the premium version using his iPhone. So he has all the same capabilities that Kate has. He can also search the database, he can go to his My Foods, or he can go to Meals, which keeps a record of the meals he's had and put in manually. So he can just quickly choose his breakfast because he has the same breakfast every single day, and it will just quickly add that. He can add other foods that he's used before, like his protein shake. He can just quickly add that. And if there then is a food that he hasn't had, he can go to the database and just search for the chicken breast that he wants. Measures it, make sure it's the correct amount, and just add that. And the same with rice. But with rice, its measurement is in a metric cup, but he prefers to have it in grams because he has measured them in grams. So he can quickly click on that. But he made a mistake. He only added 1 gram of white rice. So he can easily click on it, go back, fix the amount, and then click OK, and the tracking is now fixed again. For dinner, he can quickly add the steak that he has because the app remembers what he's had, and he can also just quickly add these vegetables. Now, as you can see, Jerome is over his calories for the day, and he's not even done yet. He still needs to add another protein shake to make sure that he hits his protein macros. And as you can see, he's 319 calories over his limit, but his protein, carbohydrates, and fats looks pretty good. But because Jerome does exercise to recompose his body, he can now go and add exercise to his app, and he does weightlifting for about an hour and a half every day. So he just chooses that and add it, and that will then subtract the calories that the app thinks he's burned from his total calories for the day. He also attended a spinning class for about 20 minutes, and those calories will then also be deducted from his total. And suddenly Jerome is 184 calories below his daily limit. So he's looking to be in good shape. Now, Jerome is not bothered with his weight. He's more bothered with his body fat percentage, and he can easily track that. However, the app doesn't actually calculate that for you. You have to calculate it with an external calculator and can then just input the values of that calculator. You can track it over time to make sure that you are moving in the right direction. And Jerome is not bothered with tracking anything else. He just wants to track the things that is important to him. Once he's done, he click I am done. And an important feature is that Jerome can plan into the future. He can go into future dates, plan his meals ahead of time, and make sure that he doesn't exceed his calorie budget on any given day. Casey used some features in the app that the other two didn't use. One of the things Casey does is he found this great website where they will send him keto recipes that contains all the calories and macros that he needs. But because the database doesn't exactly have what he needs, Casey can go add his own custom meals. And because he subscribed to this great service where he will receive the recipes with all the macros and the calories, he doesn't have to go and add them as ingredients. He can just go add a food type, give it a name, the keto Philly cheesesteak skillet, and then also give it a brand name, which he just uses his own name. The app will automatically detect what you're trying to do and suggest an icon, but you can easily change that if you like. Then all he has to do, he has to go and decide how it is measured. He can change a serving to grams, kilograms, but Casey has decided that because he makes the whole recipe and he eats the whole recipe, 1 serving will be good enough. The next thing he has to do is he have to put in the overall calories for his meal. Once he's added that, all he now needs to do is to go and add the amount of fat, carbohydrates, and protein. And at the very bottom, there's an option where you can share your food with other people. So if other people have the same recipe and they go search for it, they will find the recipe that you've added. But if you don't want that, you can easily just uncheck it. So Casey has now added his meal from his recipe, and his calories and macros are now being tracked. But remember, Casey needs to track a few more things than the other two. So he would like to add his weight. So every morning he weighs himself and he adds his weight. And over time, he just wants to see that it's moving in the right direction. Then as he drinks water, he can click on a glass which will add in increments of 250 milliliters. But at some point during the day, he drinks a measurement that's not 250 milliliters. So he can take what he's drank so far, add that, and just quickly update the total, and that will then have his new water consumption so far. And as he drinks some more water in increments of 250 milliliters, he can just add that until they turn green, which means he has hit his water goal for the day. Casey also takes his blood glucose several times a day to see what his blood sugar does over time. It's an easy way to determine if you are moving in the pre-diabetic state. So you can just add them throughout the day, and in the future you can track them over time. And the app will indicate how many blood glucose levels you've added. And if you take your blood pressure once or twice or 3 times a day, you can add that as well and track that over time to see if your blood pressure increases or decreases. If you haven't added the blood pressure goal, the app will allow you to add that. And once you click on the goals, it will show you on graphs a very visual way your different goals like blood pressure, glucose, water, carbohydrates, protein, fat tracking, and even your steps. If you have a health tracker that can update the Apple Health app, the Lose It app will automatically take those steps from there. Otherwise, it will just use the accelerometer in your phone to determine how many steps you've taken. Casey hasn't been using this app long enough to have proper tracking data of all the metrics he would like to add. But sleep is very important to him, so the first thing he needs to do is to set a sleep goal. Once he's added a sleep goal, he can go back to the logging part and just add the amount of hours that he's actually slept. And that is also great data to look at if you suddenly start to feel a little bit off or gaining weight unexpectedly. Sleep may be the problem. And once Casey is done tracking, you can just click on the I'm done logging, and the same will happen as for the other two. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. I would massively appreciate it. Now, I've been using this premium version of this app for over a year, and it has really helped me in a lot of situations. It has helped me to keep within my calories, my macros, and it has helped me to achieve my weight goals over the last year. And although this is like a Swiss Army knife of apps, it does have a few shortcomings. One of the things I would like to see in the future added is the ability to add your ketones from a ketone meter. I would also love it if it can automatically calculate your body fat percentages based on all the data that you've given it. You've given it all the data to do it automatically. It might as well just do it for you. But other than that, it is an app that I would highly recommend. I have added some links to both the Android and the iOS version of this app. And Lucid have not sponsored this video, and I'm in no affiliation for them. This is just my honest review of the app I've been using for over a year.